7:01, we'll call this meeting to order. Michelle, please read the sunshine law.
Let the minutes show that adequate notice of this meeting as required by Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, has been provided by the annual notice, which has been posted on the bulletin boards, filed with the Borough Clerk, has been sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Independent, the Star Ledger, and the Tuesday Times.
Thank you. Can we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Cooper. Councilmember Patopoulos.
Here.
Councilmember Good.
Here.
Councilmember McDermott.
Here.
Councilmember Pacheco.
Here.
Councilmember Sheridan.
Here.
And Mayor Kennedy.
Here. If you could all silence your cell phones, which courtesy around you, and if you could please rise to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Just a friendly reminder that the Keyport St. Patrick's Day Parade is a fundraiser for our volunteer fire department. It's the 15th year. Tonight is the Raise the Pint event over at McDonough's Pub, where the Grand Marshal and Deputy Grand Marshal will be receiving their sashes, and fundraising will continue on this evening over at the pub. So in light of that, I will keep this mayor's update short, and we will move on to the consent agenda.
Resolution 9920 is the payment of bills. Resolution 120 authorizes the Borough of Keyport to enter into a shared service agreement with the County of Monmouth and the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office for the provision of emergency dispatch services. Resolution 10120 authorizes the Borough of Keyport to enter into a shared service agreement with the Borough of Union Beach to provide registrar and deputy registrar of vital statistics on a shared service basis. Resolution 10220 authorizes the Borough of Keyport to enter into a shared services agreement with Monmouth County for oversized vehicle washing services. Resolution 10320 authorizes the Borough of Keyport to enter into a license agreement with 19 Division Street LLC for non-exclusive use of a portion of municipal property of sidewalk ingress and egress. Resolution 10420 authorizes the hiring of Patricia Olson as a part-time clerk in the Tax, Water, Sewer, and Finance Office. Resolution 10520 certifies the cost of cleaning up 100 Division Street and placing a lien upon such lands. Excuse me. Resolution 10620 is determining form and other details of not to exceed $4,950,000 $4,950,000 in general obligation bonds, Series 2020, consisting of a $3,250,000 general obligation bond, Series A, and a $1,700,000 general obligation bond, Series B, of the Borough of Keyport in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and providing for the sale of such bonds to the United States Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Resolution 10720 is a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Keyport authorizing and providing for the incurrence of indebtedness for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, enlarging, improving, and/or extending the Perry Street Water Treatment Plant Facility to serve an area lawfully within its jurisdiction to serve in the amount of $1,700,000. Resolution 10820 is a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Keyport authorizing and providing for the incurrence of indebtedness for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, enlarging, improving, and/or extending the Perry Street Water Treatment Plant Facility to serve an area lawfully within its jurisdiction to serve in the amount of $3,250,000. And Resolution 11020 authorizes the appointment of Michelle Clark as Borough Clerk for a term of 3 years.
Yay.
So there's a couple things I just want to go over. One is, thank you to Tom Henshaw, as well as Freeholder Director Arnone. Councilwoman Dermott and I attended elected officials with the county dignitaries 2 weeks ago, or was it last week, I'm not actually sure. And we had been asking to have an inquiry made to the county last year. Councilman Sheridan had several times asked for us to see if we could use their bus washing facility to no avail, but they are happily welcome us into their shared service program for the very nice facility that they do have right in Tinton Falls, and we're welcome to use. So thank you, Tom Henshaw, for actually following up on that and making that happen. And I believe Councilman Good, you had a concern about 103, 20?
Well, actually, Madam Mayor, I was wondering if we can just move R 11020 right now, open it to the public, vote on it at roll call. So I think Michelle, we get her installed immediately. She's been so good for the last couple of months. I think we should just move that up front, if it is the pleasure of the mayor.
It's actually not the pleasure of the clerk. She'd prefer to wait to have all this ceremonial stuff done on the next meeting.
You mean authorizing that?
And swearing in and all that stuff.
I just meant passing this resolution.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So you're motioning?
Well, I'm open to the public for it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone from the public wish to come forward on R 1020?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We please have a motion to approve R 11020?
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Can we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Patopoulos,
Definitely.
Councilmember Good,
With pleasure.
Councilmember McDermott,
Yes.
Councilmember Pacheco,
Yay. Yes.
Councilmember Sheridan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for the indulgence. Yes, I'd like to ask to pull 10320. I'm just not exactly sure. We need a little more information about that. It seems that we need some more information.
Can I have a motion to pull 103, table 10320?
Second.
All in favor?
Madam Mayor?
Ask that we have a photo of why we're doing this.
Excuse me?
You just have a photo of why we are going into this, like a photo? It's not really just so much.
You guys are tabling it, you guys can get more information between now and the next meeting.
Mayor?
Yes.
Can we please pull 10120 either for separate, well, we would have to pull it for separate consideration, because I think we need to vote on it tonight. I think that the amount that we're charging is not enough.
So you want to table it, so we can renegotiate that?
Well, I would like to hear the council's thoughts on it, if that's okay, so we can.
Well, we
pull
can
it.
discuss anything on here now.
Okay, well,
Think it's going to need to be tabled.
maybe it will be tabled, but my impression is that we've been charging the same amount or therein for some time now, without knowing. I certainly know that Ms. Purcell puts a lot of time into the Union Beach duties. Mayor, perhaps you can elaborate on that. You were the liaison for a while, and $5,000 a year, and I think we're up to just south of 5,200 on this resolution. In my opinion, isn't enough. I also discussed it briefly with the administrator, and I think that at a minimum, we should negotiate to increase it by, my opinion is by at least $3,000, but I'm not even sure of that until we get
a sense of what, how much time Donna is putting into servicing Union Beach as registrar during the year.
As you mentioned, I was the liaison as you followed my role on that, and I've been asking for a report so that we can justify that increase. It was raised last year, and it was a constant communication with myself and Mr. Gallo, and no information had ever been provided back to me to justify raising it further than the annual allotment. So I'm happy to finally get answers on that, so if we could table that and you can get answers, be thrilled to.
Before we table it, just, wow.
Oh, that's
really
good.
not considering
But he liked it, right?
I know, but I didn't realize how voice was, so I heard it echo. So, I mean, logistically, what happens if we table it? Do we have to pass this tonight? Because it's from January to December, so I guess it doesn't matter, right?
No, we can push off another 2 weeks, it's not gonna, we're doing it anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I just wanted, thank you.
So, Councilman Patapos, I'm in favor if you're able to
Motion.
get more information to table it.
Second.
Motion to table.
All in favor to table R 10120?
Aye.
Alright.
Thank you for bringing that up.
And there is 1032. So does anyone else have anything to discuss on the consent agenda before we open it to the public?
Yeah, let's pull 99 through 110, we'll know what it's.
Sure. Can I have a motion to open to the public? For the motion to the public, just
Second.
keep in mind that 10120 and 10320 are pulled, and 110 has already been voted on. Did we get a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to come forward? Mr. Rollins?
George Wallen, 54 Second Street. On R105-20. It's about time we're doing something with this property. Have you looked back through the history of this property and the landlady?
Not the full history, I'm not sure if anyone else has. Councilman McDermott?
Well, there's some history in the packet.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of issues with that. It's more or less blatant defiance too, because when I was doing this job, I brought her into court, and she told me, finally get it over with, I got things to do tonight. So we did find her. I threatened her with a $1,000 fine, and we could have done it that night, but I just felt a little bit sorry for her because of the history. Then I started going back and researching everything. She's blatant, defiant, arrogant, and I'm glad you guys are finally doing something with it.
Mr. Wong,
Yes, sir.
you say she, we issued this, it looks like Fannie Mae owns it.
Maybe now, at the time, it was a
Oh,
private,
okay, I was
it was
just,
a private woman.
okay, we issued this one, it's the owner's Fannie Mae.
Okay, yeah. But if you want to touch base with Lori Graham, I'm sure that they can pull the file on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to come forward about the consent agenda items? Our motion to close to the public?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve resolutions minus 10120, 10320?
Motion.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Patapos?
Yes.
Councilmember Good?
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott?
Yes.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilmember Sheridan?
Yes.
(2020) Keyport bid budget, public hearing and adoption. Can I have a motion open to the public?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone from the public wish to come forward regarding the Keyport bid KBBC budget? Can I have a motion to close to the public?
Motion. Second.
Resolution 10920 is the adoption of 2020 Business Improvement District budget. Can I have a motion to adopt the budget?
Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Patapos?
Yes.
Councilmember Good?
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott?
What did you say for this one? Okay, yes.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Yes.
And Councilmember Sheridan.
Yes.
Wayne.
Communications by consent, there is item number 1 through 9, and then communications 10, 11, and 12 to receive and file. Anyone have any discussion before opening to the public? Have a motion to open to the public for communications.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to come forward on communications 1 through 12? Have a motion to close to the public.
Move it. No. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have an approval or receipt and file approval to file communication?
Motion. Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Fitopoulos.
Yes.
Councilmember Good.
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott. Yes. Councilmember Pacheco.
Yes.
And Councilmember Sheridan.
Yes.
Can I have approval of minutes from September 6, 2019, special meeting, October 15th?
Should we vote on these separate, because I have to abstain from September 6th?
And just say you abstain. I'll make the motion to approve. Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Fitopoulos.
Yes.
Councilmember Good.
Yes.
And Councilmember McDermott. Yes. And Councilmember Pacheco.
I abstain from September 6th, yes to October 15th.
And Councilmember Sheridan.
Yes to both.
Under new business, you all received something today from Mr. Henshaw from Millennium Strategies regarding a grant that we would have to decide on rather quickly. So it's an NJDEP awarding up to $10,000 to new projects in coastal communities affected by coastal hazards.
I have a question.
Yeah, so we
Sorry.
discuss this now.
Okay. So murals are actually on the NPP plan. So are we gonna be able to combine grant money, maybe more?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
We could.
So,
That was my only question.
Yes.
Also.
and the other thing is that there's plenty of other options also listed as including light displays, installations created from community collected trash or performing arts.
Okay.
So if we were able to apply for this, my suggestions would be to extend the options of the stage down below. Maybe even add a backdrop or something, or an overhang. And
That's a great idea.
That definitely needs steps, and, maybe we can have more of our drama club and so forth, have more performances down there on a more regular basis, or maybe look into purchasing a different sound system, so we don't always have to go out to purchase,
Or lights.
go out, like, something, to bring in the arts of music and dance or so forth. Another idea is, because the DEP that wants this, is to see if we can find maybe, the gazebo down by the World War I veterans, and the gazebo, down at the waterfront is rusted,
In
and in need of a lot of TLC. So maybe we could find one that's made of recycled material, and then it would be something for the arts as well. And then I wasn't sure if perhaps, big bellies, we definitely need possibly more of those, and those are rather expensive. So those would be other options that I would throw out there for
Madam Mayor?
possibilities, as well as recycled resin Adirondack chairs, maybe down at Fireman's Park. So those would be my suggestions. Yes?
They list murals, light displays, installations created from community collected trash and performing arts, right? Dance, music, or theater. Okay, so we would use maybe based on what you're suggesting, we would use the $10,000 for one of those and offset the $10,000 to incorporate big bellies or the repairs to the gazebo.
I mean, performing arts, if we use, maybe we put a sound system into one of the gazebos, right? And then it could become another performing arts space besides just the stage or something, like it could be a covered art space, right? So
I don't read that, but if they're willing to do it, I'm fine with it. I also think that, you know, offsetting or just maneuvering the money around, however you wanna do it, but I just wanted to bring it up that it seems to be, limited to those 4 things.
But for having the stage or the gazebo not being those things.
No, I'm not, it's not even an argument, I'm just
Oh.
making a point.
And everybody sees, we have to have the application by March 25th, and we'll find out if we get the grant by April, so it's
We have a lot of
in and out,
choices.
free in and out, so.
Yep, we have a lot of choices, so it's all good.
I have a silly question. Questions deadline? What exactly does that mean, like,
I'm sorry,
March 4th, questions deadline?
if there's any questions we have pertaining to,
Possible
this offer.
Alright, cool. We have a,
So, I think, we could possibly go and make a motion on this, but I would like to open it up to the public before we do that, because it's gonna include a vote to move forward with Millennium Strategies to apply. So,
motion?
have a motion to open to the public,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So to the public, effectively, this is a grant opportunity that Millennium Strategies can apply for. Their question and window is until tomorrow, and the application deadline would be, as Mr. Henshaw said,
March
March
26th.
24th or 25th. And it is $9,000 and no less than $7,000 of the award must be provided to the artist for reimbursement of materials, development, and presentation of the art installation. Remaining funds, no less than $1,000 and no more than $3,000 will be provided to reimburse for overhead or administrative expenses, and it's eligible for municipalities, counties, and nonprofit organizations. It's a $10,000 maximum award. I would say that about half of the state is eligible, and they expect to issue 5 awards in total. So, with that said, if anyone from the public has any questions, please come forward now. Have a motion to close to the public?
Motion closed.
Second.
So if I can, have a motion to approve Millennium to apply for this grant.
Motion approved.
Second.
Apply.
And I just roll call, please.
Councilmember Fatopoulos?
Yes.
Councilmember Good?
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott?
Yes.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Yes.
And Councilmember Sheridan?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, we have unfinished business. At the last meeting, we discussed, the request from KBBC to use the black lampposts, in the business district to put flag holders on. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed, but 2 were installed by our DPW at a very generous offer of them on an extremely windy day to be up in the wind installing something just to see how it would be in the wind. Contradicts our safety of our personnel, but, I don't know if anyone has seen them, so, or their thoughts or feedback on them. I know the next, your packet this week included the images of the materials. The manpower that it took from our DPW, is not available to continue to put the rest on, but KBBC is willing to pay to have another company put them up. So at this point, we would just need approval, for them to use the lampposts. Or, I believe the councilman, Member McDermott, you have more information about concerns of which way the flag's faced.
So one of the concerns to make sure that, because we do have commercial property and trucks that come through this area, we need to make sure that if they're not interfering with traffic coming in, so we may have to look, they may have to go towards the street, the sidewalk, versus going into the commercial parking area. So that's something else that needs to be determined, when these are set up, to make sure we're not interfering with, commercial trucks or UPS or any of those that come through. The other side is that this will be installed by an external company, that the same company that KBBC uses for the lights and stuff, so that'll be something that's planned out, that we'll figure out the cost and everything else with that.
I did have a chance to talk with Mr. Straub before the meeting, and the flags are very high quality, so they'll last very well. And if we put 1 flag on each pole, we can actually get it a little higher, because the electrical box is situated such on the light that if you put 2 flags in it, it has to be like 10 inches lower. So it might look better with just one, the two flags where they are is great because there are only two poles there. But if you're coming down the street, West Front Street, and you're seeing flags, it's gonna look very nice.
The idea was to only have to go one direction.
It's gonna
And
be
a
a great
concern
idea.
I think that Councilman McDermott brought up though is like when the tractor trailer parks on West
Family
Front Street
First
for
or
Family
Family
Dollar, is it going to take out the flag, so to speak? Which in turn could then damage the lamppost, and that's the part that we, as a
And that's-
council, need to.
It's commercial trucks, and commercial trucks go through here. The buses too, we need those to be conscious.
The buses aren't parking up next to the sidewalk, so.
I'm not a, I did see a picture, I'm not a big fan of the double,
Yeah, no,
it didn't look as nice, I think.
single size.
That's it, that was my two cents.
And I think if we need to, in front of the Family Dollar, maybe we increase the angle so it's up a little higher, so we don't run into that situation. What we can't control is the wind blowing out and catching it on the truck as it's pulling away. But I mean, if that's all we're worried about, I think the idea is merits us letting KBBC do this.
Okay, so then I would need a motion to allow them to use the black lamppost to install it, and they will be hiring someone to install the flag.
And
We
these
will
will
not
be
be
for
using
all,
DPW.
right, these will be for all the poles in the area, including.
All the black lampposts that
Yeah,
the
the
holiday
black
lights
ones,
are on.
Mhm.
Plus 2 additional ones, because now we did not have any installed on 4 that were broken, including, we added electric now to the 2 in Fireman Park, so they don't have the lights, so. So I would need a
I'll make
motion.
that motion.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Patapos?
Yes.
Councilmember Good?
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott?
Yes.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Yes.
And Councilmember Sheridan?
Yes.
Next up on unfinished business, I'm not sure if it has to continue on to the next meeting, but unless you've had communication with, to confirm the use of fireman's lot, yeah. The corner.
No, I didn't. I didn't ask.
I was talking to both friends about it.
I did not have the opportunity yet.
Okay, so then we'll table that to the next meeting. And the next one is the waiver for the vacancy fee for 1-3 Walnut Terrace, that the letter hadn't come through in your packet last time, but it is now. So we would just need to figure out what you're doing with that.
Yeah.
Anyone have any discussion on it? Or want to move to pass it or deny it, or motion to not approve it?
I'm okay with it, but I don't know who had issues with it before that might have questions and stuff. So, right, he's looking.
I might have had issues, I can't remember.
The letter wasn't in the package, it wasn't part of the
Yeah, we didn't
email
have the letter.
last time, should we have it in your packet this time?
Yeah, I didn't see it this time, that's why I denied it.
I thought I saw it.
Oh, it's not in the packet, it's a separate attachment.
Senior business.
It's a separate attachment under unfinished business.
It's a separate. Separate item. Under unfinished business. Very nice penmanship.
I don't have a problem with Mayor. I don't have a problem with this. It's, the only thing is if it comes up again, under the same circumstances, I would hope we would do the same, we would take the same action. But that's just, that's in the course of fairness as far as, I remember years ago, my water bill cut in half because there was a leak. And the council 20 years ago voted not to do it. And then I've seen them do it a number of times since then. Not that I have a grudge or anything about it.
Alright.
Just kidding, no, and all joking aside.
We have the sewer, I don't know about the water.
Right, the sewer, that's, even that. All joking aside,
You're gonna have the sewer reduced.
Did you ask for water or only, or did you ask for sewer?
both. I still have the letter. I look at it when I'm mad at the town, no, I'm just kidding. I have no I'm not opposed to this. I would never be opposed to something like this. The reason seems justified. It seems like they're headed in the right direction with a house that's been blighted for such a long time. Why not give them the benefit of the doubt and reward them for taking such action? Hopefully, we won't hear about this house ever again.
So is that a motion to approve?
I was waiting for input from Matt, actually.
Oh,
Matt.
I'm okay.
He
A
said-
motion to approve.
I'll second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Patapos.
Yes.
Councilmember Good.
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott.
Yes.
And Councilmember Pacheco.
Yes.
Councilmember Sheridan.
Yes.
Can we put my old water bill under old business?
Really old.
Attorney's report?
As some of you may know, on Friday, on behalf of the borough, I had submitted the Neighborhood Preservation Program plan to the Department of Community Affairs. This afternoon, I received a formal letter indicating that the plan was accepted and approved by the state. And now we'll be working on proceeding with implementing the plan. So thank you everyone for your help in getting that done and getting it in, so.
Thank you,
I
Mike.
have to say that I know there was a lot of back and forth about the MPP and the change of jurisdiction and all of that kind of stuff. I have to say, being that you've only been with the borough since January 6th, essentially, I think maybe now you want to move here, right? Because you've definitely jumped in and learned a lot about Keyport. So, and it wouldn't have been possible without you really jumping in full force. So, thanks for the work that you put into this.
Thank you.
I agree on that, especially the timing. I mean, the whole month of February, if you said NPP behind it, we like winced.
I know, you did do a lot of work.
But you got it done, so congratulations.
Well, we're not done yet. We gotta,
No,
believe it or not, this was actually the easier part.
Yeah.
The hard part to be.
Right, but now there'll be staff to do it, so, you know, we need
In
some
time.
staff for guidance, so,
Including.
so thank you. Can I have a motion to open to the public, please?
Motion?
Second.
We're in the game.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to come forward?
Seeing nobody?
Mr. Berlou?
Hello, everybody. Ed Berlin, 59 West Front Street, Keyport.
I drove by today, but it was raining.
Excuse me?
I drove by and your truck was there, but it was raining.
Once the rain scared you away. I mean, anytime. Well, that was the first thing I was gonna ask, Mayor. I was gonna say, if you're too busy, and I know you're busy, Mayor, if you can send maybe Public Works or somebody, I would like to go over a few things. One being the parking lot over here on Main Street, we own it, there's no signs on that either, or maybe one. Everybody's,
That's
I don't think a lot of people know they can park there.
That's an unrestricted parking lot, because that's supposed to be,
No,
it's unrestricted because that's supposed to be for employee parking.
please talk into the microphone.
I don't know how much more I.
Victoria, I heard you loud and clear. Everybody else, I got a problem with. I didn't pay attention to what the attorney said before, and I lost my right, but I'm gonna ask anyway. But anyway, go ahead, Mayor, I'm sorry.
I can't get any closer to the microphone, so I'm not sure why.
Well, she shouts it right out, you know, so. I'm
Um,
clear.
The Main Street parking lot is not a Times parking lot. That is unlimited parking because that's supposed to be for employee parking, for borough employees as well as business owners. For some reason, that has fallen to the wayside over the last year, but, that is why that parking lot doesn't have signs, because that's how it was designated and voted on by council 2 years ago.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's, parking for, employees?
Right, employees aren't supposed to park in the back, employees of the businesses aren't supposed to park in the back lots. They're supposed to park either in Fireman's Lot, which is unlimited, or, Main Street.
Or Main Street parking lot?
Correct.
why don't they?
Exactly,
Excuse me?
exactly.
Okay. I didn't know that was on, limited parking lot for employees and I guess their tenants over there, but the borough does own it, correct?
Main Street parking lot, we
Yeah.
own that, yes.
Well, I guess you guys know what you're talking about there. I don't agree with that, and I've never heard that before. I always thought it was open parking for anybody who wanted to park there.
I mean, it is open to anybody, but that is supposed to be where all employers are encouraging their employees to park so that they're not in the time spot, right? Because the
Yeah, but
business
then why
owners.
wouldn't we have some signs, over there that anybody can park there? Or, because there's parking spots over there.
There are.
And we're gonna need them, so, you might wanna think about that. I would like to go over that with just you or whoever else involved with, Public Works. Also, and we still have to address the back here on American Legion Drive, which is, another problem. We have a couple of cars back there that probably should not be back there. They're on borough property. I'm not so sure you knew, or you guys know it's borough property because Steve Gallo didn't know. And, it was brought to his attention way back when, and then he realized it was. And I'd like to bring that back out. But just
We're
bear
gonna
with me
go
for
for
a
a
few
walk,
more.
I promise.
Excuse me?
We'll go for our walk, I promise.
Yeah, I think I'd enjoy it, just walking through. There was, word, but now, no signs. American Legion Drive, yeah, American Legion Drive we talked about. I know the boat ramp has, no signs in it also, but I'd like to go over that with you. I'm sure you're gonna put boat signs in there or something, but right now,
It's Green Acres.
anybody can, some people park there all night and they don't move their car. I know we have a restriction back there, I'm not sure, 9 to 9 or something.
That's Green Acres and we can't restrict it except for no overnight parking.
It's not gonna be for open parking?
It is a Green Acres parking lot, so we cannot restrict it, we cannot make it for boat trailers
It
only,
didn't
and we
say,
can't time it, we can only say no overnight parking. That's the only restriction with.
I'd like to go over that with you.
Okay.
All right, I know there was lots of rules changed with Green Acres. Okay, I noticed a couple of cars back there. I just wanna bring back, and I didn't hear what the attorney said, sorry. Sometimes I just don't pay attention. It's in reference to, farmer's market. Why do they need 2 rows of parking? What, do they got 14 trucks? Why do we have to give them 2 rows of parking over there? It takes up 2 big rows of parking. Why can't they have 1 row? They only park in 1 row. Why it has to be blocked off with 2 rows? Go ahead.
So, it is the hope of KBBC to grow the farmer's market. So if they ask for the approval and we end up getting more vendors, then we have the approval in place. But when we know we're only going to have a couple, then we only close off the 1 row. But it gives us the option to close off 2. But Mr. Straub is here and I could defer to him in case I'm incorrect about that.
Who's
Mr.
that?
Straub, is that incorrect or
No,
correct?
you're 100% correct. We asked
Okay.
for 2 in case we have additional vendors. We only put cones up for what we need, and so far it's only been 1 row. If we get 3 or 4 more vendors, we might need the 2nd row. So when we ask for approval at the beginning of the year, we ask for 2 rows in the event that we get more vendors this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen more vendors back there in 4 years.
They're trying.
However, I don't think there's, it would be beneficial to have more than, I guess, is Mr. Hauser? Is he the vendor?
He's one, and Penelope, and last year we had the mozzarella pasta woman, and we had the pickle guy and the honey gentleman.
Yeah, we had the dress people back there too. We had people selling dresses and so on and so forth. I sure I don't agree with it. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up, I don't think they need 2 rows. Maybe Jack thinks that that's fine. I'll go along with what he thinks. And thanks for reopening. I didn't know what you said, but that's okay. On the Keyport Kiwanis, you said something about the Keyport Kiwanis. What was
They were just asking if I had a chance to speak with them, and I have not.
Oh, okay. So you would like to talk to them? Is that?
Yeah, I gotta reach out to them regarding the flea market. Yeah, as well as reach out to the state for, because it's a Green Acres property, whether we're authorized to
We may just need another application process put in because it's
Oh,
pretty.
I'm just curious, because I know they've been back there for years, and I know that sometimes they have a few problems, but they, some seem to fill the parking lot pretty good. But anyway, that's another thing. Thanks for answering that. My last question is, Mayor, I know we talked about, dumpsters a few weeks ago, and I seen progress. I seen progress stop now. I haven't seen another enclosure. I know that, from what I understand, that he give out violations. So where we stand with that? And I'm not asking for an explanation tonight, but you might want to find out why it stopped progress, or are they being fined at this point, or are they not going to do it, or?
So the full story is since April of 2018, all properties that had a dumpster, were sent notices of violation. And they were supposed to be followed up on. It was a continuous question by myself last year. They were not followed up on all year until the end of the year, as you're aware. And then I was told summonses were issued in December, but they were actually more notices of violation. I have inquired multiple times this year again, for all communications, whether they've knocked on their door and, spoken to them and explained the dumpster enclosure process. But unfortunately, I have not, received answers to those questions.
Yeah, I know my understanding is the violations have been sent out and the violation time is up, and are we gonna pursue it, or, you know? I just look at the ones in town so much, but I see the dumpsters all over the place. Everybody else is really, well, the few all stepped up to the plate and changed it. I mean, it's not a heavy duty process, it's kind of simple, for them. However, it looks like hell.
I agree.
But anyway, maybe we can press them again, or, you know, maybe we need a new code enforcement officer or something. And then I think that's it. I'd like to argue about the water, but I can't do that. The Travis will get mad. Sorry, Travis. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan?
George Wallen, 54 Second Street. The dumpsters, I have a copy, if I can turn it over to Councilwoman McDermott. These are all in green, are the outstanding from summonses that need to be followed up on.
Those are just from this year, right?
Yeah, I asked from the 13th of February, and this page also. And there's no, there's a drop dead date over here, but it's not followed up on.
And those same properties, in addition to others, were issued again on April of 2018. So I believe that we shouldn't even be at notice of violations.
Right, exactly. And if, you know, the companies I worked for were Fortune 500 companies, and if people weren't doing their job, and if we had to talk extra, you know, some things got ugly. They got written up, things were put in their file. The employees that we have here have no problem cashing their checks. Along with that goes their jobs. And if their jobs aren't being done properly, something should be put into the file, and then we do action after that. I'm not telling you how to run the government, but you might want to start building a foundation with files. Second thing, 2 weeks ago I brought up about the trailer over on 2nd Street, still there. Any reason why? Anybody?
No, I have been following up on the 2nd Street condition of the parking lot.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Which is terrible, because I thought that was supposed to be part of 2019 paving, because we had put that in the bids back in 2018, but I was advised this week.
I'll take care of it.
That the paving of the lot and sidewalks are actually in for the 2020 Church Street revamp. But I was following up on that, and I did forget to follow up
That's
on
all
the
right.
trail.
Like I said, I'm here. But like I said, it's been here for 2 weeks. Again, no paper flapping in the breeze saying I'm illegal. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Graham?
Elmer J. Graham Jr., 22 St. Peter's Place. I realize I got here, was a little late coming here tonight, but I have a few things that I'd like to ask about. The consent agenda, Resolution 10620, can you all more or less explain that?
Mr. Hitchcock, are you familiar with that, or is that from, would you rather someone that was on the dais during the time?
10620 deals with the debt service that we needed for the water plant,
Okay.
okay? So we're finalizing the project, so we're going out to get the money so we can pay our debt so we can get paid back,
Okay.
okay?
Because what jumped at me on that is the $1,700,000 general obligation bond. That's what jumped out at me now. Is that gonna,
You mean the 3.25 didn't,
yeah, that jumped out at me too.
4.95.
Wait,
There's a big
and
difference.
the $4,950,000 general obligation bonds. But anyway, is that gonna have, how does that affect the taxpayers as well?
That's a utility, bond, so that's for the water plant, so it wouldn't be into the general budget at all, okay?
All right, can you all explain 107-20?
same thing, it's the same thing.
Okay,
We're trying to pump our own water.
right.
And to pump our own water, we have to show redundant services. So all our equipment has to have backups. And once they see that we have backups and everything, then they'll let us pump our own water and we don't have to buy water.
All right. And, you all explained 108-20, resolution there?
Yes, the continuation, second piece.
That's the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's all
It's
connected.
just legal jargon broken down into 3 resolutions.
Now, I don't know why you didn't ask about 110.
Yeah, I know, what about 11020?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna get to next. By the way, Michelle, congratulations on your appointment as borough clerk and stuff. It's about time that the matter got resolved.
Thank you very
It's
much.
about time, overdue, but it's about time. And I know I've been asking this before, but about Governor Murphy, I understand he's undergoing surgery tomorrow, and I wish him best of luck in his recovery. Any possible new chance in the future he could come to Keyport to do a town hall for the residents of Keyport?
You guys not move forward on that.
I know I've been pushing on it and stuff like that, and everything like that. And one last thing before I go, search for a permanent borough administrator, how's that coming along?
We began the interview process yesterday.
Yes, and Mr. Henshaw was among those interviewed too.
It's a personnel matter that's not to be discussed in public right now.
Okay, yeah, we need to get that resolved as soon as possible, anyway.
We agree.
All right, thank you.
And we agree that Mr. Henshaw's doing a great job in the meantime.
Yes, he is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wish to come forward? Mr. Straub?
Jack Straub, 239 Main Street. On behalf of KWBC, thank you for approving the budget. I had some materials here for anyone that didn't get a chance. There are Visit Monmouth magazines, our new 3-up with our full summer schedule, and this is the summer events poster that's going to be in all the big bellies. So all of our September materials are done, and we're not trying to rush summer. It's just that St. Patrick's Day, or St. Patrick's Parade, is the first time we have a big crowd in town. We always try to get the big belly posters done before the parade, so we don't have last year's posters in. And everyone in town expects to see that 3-up in their water bill in March. So these are all summer materials. Nothing really starts until June, but everything's done now. I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Including saving the date for the music festival of 10/10/2020.
Down here in the corner too. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Mrs. Crew?
Nancy Carew, 64 Broadway. I'm not asking about the house. My favorite. What I wanted to ask about was that Millennium Grant, that we're going to be doing that proposal that's been accepted by the borough. We're using 3 recycled materials off of the beach. Would any of that be included, you know, if we overspend the mini grant that we have gotten already? Would we be able to access any of those funds?
But we've already approved $1,000 for the labyrinth, which, originally when they put that proposal in, I understand they only asked for 200, so I think $800 over is sufficient
Oh,
for
okay,
an
okay, I didn't know how much
organization.
she had asked,
So I
yeah.
think we should, maybe hold this grant for something that's a borough initiative.
Okay, all right, just figured I'd ask.
Do you have a copy of when they asked for 200? I don't have that.
It was a communication to Steve.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public? A motion to close?
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
What do we have for?
We have an update on what we're going into closed session for.
We're discussing a contract matter, involving borough, so.
Okay. Have a motion to go, into closed session?
Motion to go to closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.